Hello, Seiiti Arata. Why are you always tired? Why don't you have the necessary energy to do your everyday tasks or to reach your goals or chase your dreams? Even though you really want to advance, why aren't you able to start moving? Notice that I didn't even ask whether you're feeling tired. Because nowadays this question is almost unnecessary. Almost everyone feels tired nowadays. According to some surveys, up to 98% of the respondents reported feeling tired. And you can spend hours on the internet searching for the reason why you are always tired. And there are millions of possible results for that search, but they will almost inevitably limit themselves to 4 different causes: lack of sleep, lack of exercise, a poor nutrition, or an excess of stimuli. Most of the time your tiredness comes from all those 4 causes combined. So today I invite you to do an experiment that will only take 72 hours. 3 days for you to regain your energies and be in the mood to do whatever you have to do again. And if you want, you can even write in the comments below this video and tell us how you're feeling today before starting the experiment, and in 3 days time or whenever you finish the challenge, you come back here and leave an answer to your own comment, telling how you're feeling after having done all that we are going to be suggesting here. Agreed? So then let's see what you need to do during the next 3 days so you can regain your energies and stop feeling tired all the time. Have 3 good nights of sleep. Sleeping is the essential tool for your body and mind to recover from tiredness. Lack of sleep is the main reason why you're always tired. Lack of sleep can mean that you're sleeping for less hours than you should, and also that your quality of sleep is poorer than necessary. So during this 3-day challenge, your objective is to have 3 good nights of sleep. And that means sleeping for the necessary amount of hours for you to wake up the next day feeling well rested. And for most people that's about 8 hours of sleep, but there are also people who need slightly more or slightly less. Now keep in mind that this is the number of hours that you actually have to spend sleeping. If you go to bed at 10 and you stay up watching TV or doing something on your phone, it doesn't mean that you can wake up 8 hours later. In addition to the amount of hours that you sleep, you need to take care of the quality of your sleep in order to make your quality of sleep better during this challenge. Try to not consume caffeine after lunchtime during these 3 days. You can even take a cup of coffee when you wake up later in the morning or right after lunch. But after that, try to not consume any caffeine at all. And remember that caffeine is not only present in coffee. Chocolates and soft drinks and energy drinks and even some teas can have a lot of caffeine. Avoid all of that after lunchtime. And if you're used to drinking alcoholic drinks, I'll ask you to also try to quit drinking during these 3 days. I know a lot of people think that, oh, come on, alcohol helps you to fall asleep. That might be true. You fall asleep faster, but your quality of sleep is negatively affected by the consumption of alcohol, especially during the deep sleep phase, which is precisely the most important phase to make you feel well rested. Your sleep quality can also be enhanced by following some very simple tips. If you can, leave your bedroom in complete darkness, silent, and with a controlled temperature. The idea is that you try to follow the rule of sleeping when the sun sets and waking up when the sun rises, in case your work and lifestyle, of course, allow you to do that. In any case, avoid having electronic devices in your bedroom, especially your phone, during these 3 days. If it takes you a long time to fall asleep, calculate when you need to go to bed so that you can sleep the necessary amount of hours until the time that you need to wake up. Move your body. The more energy you spend, the more energy you will have. This can look counterintuitive, but if you're feeling physically tired, a good solution is to do physical exercise. Physical tiredness is a cycle, and that cycle can be vicious or can be virtuous. An example of a vicious cycle is like this: you're feeling tired, then you sit down, you lay down, you don't move your body, and instead of resting, what happens is that you feel even more tired and without energy to do exercise, and this cycle goes on and on. In order to change that, you need to turn it into a virtuous cycle. Yes, you're tired, But even though you're tired, you move, you can exercise, and instead of feeling tired, more tired, instead of that, you're gonna get more energy to complete your tasks. That's how you're gonna be willing to do that exercise again. Some studies show that adults that started doing mild exercise a few times a week needed around 40 days of practice to notice meaningful changes. But you can start feeling the benefits during the first few days. Studies also show that those who exercise also sleep better. Now, there are two possible scenarios. The first scenario is that you are a sedentary person. In the second scenario, you already exercise regularly. If you are sedentary, try to simply move your body during these 3 days of the challenge. The easiest way of doing it is simply by going outdoors for a walk, preferably sunbathing a little bit in appropriate solar time frame. Instead of trying to leave your sedentary lifestyle all of a sudden and become an athlete, just move your body. Go for a long walk once a day, early in the morning or in the late afternoon, and try moving around a little bit throughout the day as well. Remember standing up from your chair from time to time, correcting your posture, stretching your muscles. Avoid doing heavy exercise before going to bed because it can interfere with your sleep. If you already do physical exercise and still feel very tired, there are two reasons for that. Maybe you're doing too much exercise, or maybe you're just moving during a very short, very small amount of time. If you're being too hard on yourself, try to do lighter exercise during these days. However, if you move yourself only during the periods devoted to exercise during these 3 days, try to move your body along more intervals as well. For example, let's say that you do some kind of exercise like bodybuilding, running or swimming for 40 minutes every morning. And then the rest of the whole day you spend working in front of the computer. In that case, try standing up at least once every hour. Do some stretching. Walk a bit. Fix your posture. If you don't have the possibility of stop working and walk for a little bit, just try to at least work standing for a couple of minutes. Simple attitudes like that will help you to have more energy to accomplish your daily goals. Spend 3 days without consuming sugar, wheat, and trans fats. Instead of that, eat minimally processed food. The products that we consume are directly linked to our energy levels. A malnourished person is hardly going to maintain high levels of energy to complete their tasks because their body and brain will both get tired much sooner. The best way to have a well-balanced diet is consulting a food specialist, having medical examinations done to verify your body levels, to follow a diet that has been prescribed by a competent professional, and taking medical supplements, medicines if they have been prescribed. But just for this experiment of just 3 days, I'm going to suggest something simpler. My suggestion is that you spend 3 days eating only food that has been minimally processed by avoiding completely 3 ingredients: sugar, wheat, and trans fats. Minimally processed foods are those that you can find in nature: meat, eggs, fruits, vegetables, and seeds. A good tip for you, whether or not a product has been heavily processed, is reading the list of ingredients. Natural food doesn't have boxes and signs and lists of ingredients. An orange is just an orange. Salmon is salmon. An almond is just an almond. If the product is coming in a package and has a long list of ingredients, it's probably not a natural product. If you do that, you'll probably stay away from sugar, wheat, and trans fats. And you can manage to spend 3 days, of course, away from these sweets and bread and pasta and margarine and vegetable oils. During this experiment, remember to drink a lot of water as well. Even a small deficit of 2% in your hydration can cause mental tiredness. So don't let the lack of water spoil your 3-day challenge. And if it is possible, try to leave a period of at least 12 hours between your last meal of the day and the first meal of the next day. For example, if you had dinner at 8 in the evening, wait to have breakfast until 8 in the morning. Reduce your stimuli to give your brain a break. Sleeping well, moving your body, and eating natural food are the 3 essential steps to regain your energy levels and fight physical tiredness. The 4th and last step of our challenge will help us to fight mental tiredness. And this step consists in reducing the quantity of stimuli that you receive per day. For most people, this means reducing how much time they use the internet. Try to spend these 3 days limiting as much as possible your use of social media, of news websites, and even videos and streaming services. Instead of doing all of that, use that time to complete the tasks that you've been procrastinating, or just do some relaxing activities such as reading a book, making crafts, or practicing your favorite hobby. Ever since smartphones and high-speed internet became omnipresent, we have been giving too little rest to our brains. During breaks at work, instead of resting, we are constantly hyper-stimulating our senses with messages and audio messages, photos and videos, a feed of news without end. This behavior is highly addictive, and you can even find it completely difficult to stop using your smartphone just for 3 days. But you are completely able to reduce the use of your phone a little. Try to see for yourself the big difference that it makes in the way that you're feeling. You can restore your energy levels and stop feeling always tired in only 3 days. So now let's remember the 4 steps that you need to take in order to fulfill your 3-day challenge to regain your energy. Number 1, spend 3 good nights of sleep. Number 2, move your body. Number 3, don't consume sugar, wheat, or trans fats during 3 days. Number 4, reduce the stimuli. You don't need to do everything absolutely perfect during these 3 days. Just do the best you can and have these steps and watch the results that you have in your physical and your mental state. Write down how you feel before you start the challenge and also compare to how you're feeling after these 3 days. The 3-day period is not random. That is the time it takes more or less for you to experience all the positive effect of all these changes. But you'll probably start feeling a reduction of your tiredness already on your 2nd day. And in fact, if those changes already brought you some positive effects, and if you don't feel as tired as you used to anymore, maybe you can think about adopting these new habits as a lifestyle. Extreme and constant tiredness has become an epidemic all around the globe, to such an extent that we find it normal to feel tired all the time. But that's not normal, and you can reduce that feeling of tiredness a lot by fighting the main evils that suck your energy. Lack of sleep, being sedentary, malnourished, and excess of stimuli. With your energy recovered, you can devote yourself to fulfill your tasks, achieve your goals, run after your dreams. In order to do all of that the most efficient way possible, you can take a look at our course, Productivity Ninja. The course has a special free class that you can watch right now by going to arata.se/time management.